Welcome back to Tiger Drop Films, and today I have a bit of a different video. Usually I don't do movie reviews on this channel, but since it's Godzilla and King Kong, I'll make an exception, and just this once. Anyway, I just got back from seeing Godzilla and King Kong, the new empire, and I know there's been a lot of discourse around the Godzilla community, especially on YouTube after -1, and how there's been a bunch of channels kind of trying to cash in on Godzilla -1 and being real snobby, even though that's the only Godzilla film we've seen. Well, that won't be the case here, because obviously if you've seen my other videos, I goddamn love Godzilla and King Kong and Ultraman. I've been around these parts quite a few times myself. But with that being said, there's been a lot of discourse around whether Godzilla could be silly or just serious or anything in between. Well, let me put it this way. I had a damn good time watching Godzilla -1, and I had a damn good time watching Godzilla and Kong New Empire. But with that being said, was Godzilla and Kong a good movie? Yeah, I think it was a good movie. I had a good time watching it. End of video. No, I'm not done yet. I really enjoyed it. I thought the New Empire was more concise than 2021's Godzilla vs. Kong, for a couple of reasons. As I discussed in my last video about the purpose of Godzilla and King Kong, I thought the 2021 film, while it was still very enjoyable, you could just tell how much the story was cut to ribbons. And with that in mind, I thought it ended up being quite a bit of a disappointment, especially considering all the plot lines that the MonsterVerse had built up to that point that the film just did not capitalize on. And then we have New Empire. While I think the human story was not groundbreaking, I found it to be more concise and enjoyable. It was just more straightforward in what they wanted to tell, and I can appreciate it for that. I don't mind characters just being fun. In fact, I think the New Empire had the first human cast in the MV that I enjoyed since Skull Island, and that even includes a Monarch show, which is a story for another time, but I enjoyed the human cast for what it was, the New Empire. And it was kind of nice to have some sort of version of Mothra's tribe in this film, even if they were just the Iwi. But I was happy that we got to actually see the Skull Islanders in a new light, because in the 2021 film I thought it was a shame that they just killed off all the Skull Islanders off screen. But the New Empire kind of fixed that, and it was nice to see Mothra return. Honestly, Mothra was the best part of the film, a great surprise. And I'm glad that for once she didn't die. Now, when it comes to Godzilla himself, did he need that power-up? Did he really? I don't think so. He barely had anything to use that power-up on. The new ice monster, Shimo, I mean, she was kind of cool, but she did not really have a personality, barely any screen time, and barely did anything. She did not pose a threat for me. And I know there was some kind of leaks about her being the first monster in this universe. I don't think the film even said that. Shimo was alright, just kind of there to be honest. Same with Scar King. Now Scar King, yeah, he's kind of an edgy character, I guess. But I like that he kind of laughed at King Kong and had some kind of personality with what little screen time he had. And was he a threat? Kind of. Just kind of villain of the week kind of thing. And I say that after considering, if you look at the Godzilla franchise, there's been a bunch of villains that have left an impact with their only appearance, such as Megalon, Hedorah, Space Godzilla, even Destroyer, I guess. But Scar King was probably more in the Destroyer category. He did some kind of cool things, he kind of carves out his own niche, but was he the biggest threat in this universe? No, he kind of just goes out. In fact, kind of like Destroyer, Scar King gets frozen and then he gets crushed. Kind of similar in that regard, man. But Scar King, was he the biggest threat in this MonsterVerse? No, but I can kind of admire him being a bit more of a tactical foe on more of an intelligent side, not so much the brute force side of things, but he was fine. The best part was probably King Kong in this film. Go figure. I mean, believe me, I love King Kong. I remember growing up playing the Peter Jackson film tie-in game as a kid. Great video game. And of course there's some nice King Kong references in this film. For a quick second in the opening, King Kong picks up a log and tosses it like he's known to do in every retelling of his original story. That was a nice touch. And of course we got Son of Kong. And I didn't mind Son of Kong in this film. I thought it was kind of a new take, and you know, it's different enough from the last two versions. It may not be as much of a kind of just he appears out of nowhere like the original 1933 Son of Kong, but this one doesn't quite hit the heartstrings as much as the King Kong Lives version of Son of Kong, which that one, even if that film was kind of just there, that ending was still pretty heartbreaking. But of course, New Empire doesn't have to do that. It can be more fun and lighthearted, and it is what it is. But did the Son of Kong aspect kind of make the film better? Well, that's up to you. I mean, it was a reason for Kong to meet the other apes, I guess, and become King Kong. But you can kind of tell that this was, as we suspected, envisioned to be a Son of Kong film first and foremost, and they put Godzilla in there to get more tickets sold. I mean, that's just how I see this film, really. I really like the first act where we see Godzilla doing his own thing and training and charging. And he was attacking humans, which was nice. He was attacking nuclear reactors like the Heisei Godzilla. I appreciated that. I even appreciated the nuclear repulse returning, and I appreciated that little Easter egg in Rome of Jet Jaguar's punch, punch, punch being on some graffiti, and the UFOs from the invasion of Answer Monster, and some other little references in that little mural, that little graffiti thing in Rome. That was nice. But honestly, between that Easter egg and some of Godzilla's attacking scenes and the Mothra part, that felt like all Godzilla got in this film. Oh, I mean, of course he got the nice homage to his appearance in the original King Kong vs. Godzilla by breaking out of the iceberg. That was awesome. But man, Godzilla himself, he didn't really have much to do in the film. I mean, I think the real highlight was him taking out Scylla and Tiamat and the pyramid fight with Kong. That was a pretty good fight. Godzilla does a suplex. Man, we can add that to the list of Godzilla's insane stunts. You know, up there with the Megaguirus jump or Godzilla doing the drop kick. But I like that. And the anti-gravity fight was pretty badass. I think that was the highlight of the film, because it had Godzilla, King Kong, and Mothra in the same scene. Beautiful. But that leads to my biggest disappointment, was the actual final fight in Rio. I don't know, I felt like I blinked and the fight was over, which is a shame because who knows if we were going to get Godzilla and King Kong together on screen again, really. I was hoping they had more screen time together, being buddies, like a buddy cop comedy, you know, like Lethal Weapon or even the Rocky training scene in Rocky 3. I don't know, something just to kind of commemorate these two legends sharing the same screen. Maybe the marketing hyped it up a little too much, but I don't know. I was hoping for something more of the final fight. Which kind of brings me to this. I talked about Scar King earlier, and I talked about Shimo, and honestly, they're both disappointing as threats. I think this film would have been much better if we had some kind of weird mutation from the Hollow Earth, or some kind of ancient evil, you know, something really destructive. We could have seen Hedorah, because, you know, Wingard, he keeps bringing up Hedorah in all his interviews. I think Hedorah would have been a great antagonist that involved Godzilla, King Kong, and Mothra teaming up. Come on, there's so many things you could have done with that. Some kind of untamed part of the Hollow Earth that houses a great evil like Hedorah. Or even maybe some alien foes that fell from space like King Ghidorah that are locked down there. I don't know, just something that truly means that Godzilla and King Kong have to team up. If you want to still do a monster army like we got in the film, by all means do it. But maybe create some kind of foe that warrants Godzilla actually getting an evolved power-up. Because let me tell you, was his atomic breath any different besides being pink? No. Did the Beast Glove really do anything cool besides giving King Kong his lightning powers a little bit? Kinda, I don't know. I feel like I understand wanting to sell merchandise. Believe me, I do. I remember being a kid and buying toys. I mean, come on. If you're a Godzilla fan, a King Kong fan, an Ultraman fan, a Gamera fan, you still buy toys. Come on, I do it too. I got some Ultraman figures right over there. But in the context of this film, did it really warrant it? These new power-ups, the Beast Glove, I don't know. I think if you had a more insurmountable threat that King Kong and Godzilla and Mothra had to take on, the film might have been a little bit more memorable. But maybe that's just me. I don't know. Maybe some true tag team, because the final fight wasn't much of a tag team as I had hoped. At least not in the sense of, Godzilla and Jet Jaguar teaming up. Or even Godzilla and Moguera and Space Godzilla. I don't know. Is what it is. I enjoyed the scenery of the Hollow Earth in this film. It was gorgeous. Some really awesome shots, like that one part of the ocean waves and the finale turning the ice. That was cool. I think that was something that warranted being seen in 3D, for me at least. But at the end of the day, kind of like Godzilla vs. Kong, this film was a bit of a disappointment, but still some pretty cool ideas I can appreciate. Really, I do. And I think that Godzilla x Kong is more of a concise film than the cut to ribbons disappointment that was Godzilla vs. Kong. That's just me, at least. Do I have hopes for the MonsterVerse going forward? I think they can still turn it around, hopefully. Maybe get a composer that is not Junkie Boy. Please get a new composer. That's all I ask. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed Godzilla x Kong New Empire for what it was, really. I mean, come on, there's no need to be snobby of Godzilla after seeing -1. There's no need. But at the same time, I do think that when you want to have fun side of Godzilla, maybe just add a bit more pizzazz to the story part. Come on. If you want to be like a Showa film, then look at the Showa films that went a little bit above the extra mile to just put that extra pizzazz in the narratives, like Son of Godzilla, or Godzilla vs. Hedorah, or Godzilla vs. Gigan, and of course the Mechagodzilla film, something that just adds a little bit more pizzazz to the story. Because the New Empire, they did have fun characters. I enjoyed the characters, and they all had something to do. But I think you'd kind of tie it all back together and maybe have some better monster threats to warrant, like I said, Godzilla and King Kong, two cinematic legends teaming up, and maybe a better soundtrack. And of course, Mothra was great. They would have had a truly tremendous film to enjoy. But as it stands, I can enjoy the New Empire, but it's kind of like one of those Ultraman films that it's just there to enjoy the fights. Kind of like the Ultraman Orb film, which is the final fight. It's just a great team-up of sorts. But I kind of wish the New Empire at least hit that. Maybe a bit of a better showcase of these characters teaming up and tag teaming. Because if you want it to be a wrestling match, and maybe make it a bit more like one. Because I think if the New Empire had at least 20 more minutes of screen time, spread out throughout the film to kind of flesh out some ideas, and maybe if you give Godzilla some more screen time with King Kong, then I would truly applaud this film. But as it stands, it's just good. And I was hoping to be a little better. But anyway, I won't keep you longer. You can tell me your own thoughts, because you guys are smart. Tell me what you thought of the film. Tell me your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Because let's just talk about Godzilla and King Kong, right? Let's have some fun in the comments. Let me know what you thought of this film. And I've been Tiger Drop Films, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.